In September of 2012, I was diagnosed with stage 4 or metastatic breast cancer.
Pink is no longer a pastel color for me. It's a sign of my strength, my courage, and being a breast cancer survivor.
My cancer story actually began with my sister. She had cancer before I did, 6 months before I did. And then I found out I had cancer. She has since then passed away. It was 2001 that I found out about my first breast cancer, and it was on the left side. And then in 2006, which was 4.5 years later from my first one, I found out I had a second breast cancer, which is from my right. And so far, it's been 9 years on my second one and 15 years on my first one, so I'm happy.
My journey began when I did my yearly mammogram, and I had actually skipped a year. And a couple days after my exam, they called me to return for further imaging. And as they zoomed in on the suspicious tissue, it looked as if someone had taken a pencil and drew thousands of dots in the 5-centimeter area of my breast. The radiologist said I needed to get a biopsy fast. On February 11th, my 51st birthday of 2014, my husband and I drove to Austin Cancer Centers, and I underwent a needle biopsy. Approximately 24 hours later, I received a phone call from Dr. Coombs-Skiles, my cancer surgeon, and she said, "Kitty, I'm sorry, it's cancer." I could feel tears swelling up in my eyes, and she continued to say it was DCIS stage 0, which meant it was precancerous, which was weird, and grade 3, which meant the cells were dying off fast, and it was 5 centimeters. Anything over 2 centimeters is too large for comfort on a doctor's behalf. So on Wednesday, March 19th, I had a mastectomy, deep flap reconstruction, and a reduction on my other side to hope cancer wouldn't come back on that side. The procedure took nearly 10 hours. 4 days later, I was released from the hospital, and I'll never forget that day. It was my husband's birthday this time, March 22nd, 2014, and Dr. Coombs-Skiles called me and said, "Kitty, your margins are clear. You're cancer-free."
At the time, I was 32 and had a 7-month-old son, and it was a devastating diagnosis, but thankfully the treatments that I've received thus far have been helpful in keeping the cancer at bay and in remission.
Well, tell me what LIVEStrong, the program, did for you.
It helped me to cope with mainly the loss of my sister, but it also helped me in the process of getting back into exercising. Well, actually, I never did exercise before. And it started me off exercising, and I love it. I love to come here and exercise.
It really gave me the confidence to get back into the routine of working out and focusing on eating healthy. It also helped me to meet people who had similar stories. Up until enrolling in the LIVEStrong program, I hadn't met anybody who was in their 30s, and some of them even in their 20s, who had been diagnosed with breast cancer. So it was just life-changing to be able to meet people who had been through similar things and were continuing to go through similar experiences. And I've continued, even years later, to be in contact with them. So it's just continued to give to me even after the program itself was over.
LIVEStrong has helped me learn how to exercise and feel better about myself. I have lost 8 pant sizes, and I'm now riding 12 to 14 miles a week on the bicycle, and I never did any exercise before this. But I thank LIVEStrong for having a healthier mind and body as I continue to create the new Kitty.